Okay, in the series of Python programming tutorials, we've been going through different skills you need. We're up to 9, how to do functions. So I'm going to jump into here and we're going to do how to do a function. So I'm going to just erase this because in a future tutorial I'm going to show how to comment properly for achieve mirror excellence, okay? But anyway, this one is about functions. So functions, you need to define a function by DEF. That means define, and you have to give it a descriptive lowercase name using snake script. So it has to be the same as a variable, lowercase with underscores. I'm going to call this one uh, dice, di dice. Let's see, dice, 20-sided dice. I wanted a 20-sided dice, so 20 side. Okay, I'll call it D20 for a 20-sided dice. That's a good one. Yeah, D20. Okay, and so above it, I want to comment. Just let's make a comment. It is a 20-sided dice. Oh, sided dice. Or basically, it's going to act like a 20-sided dice. Okay, and all I want this 20-sided dice is to return a random number from a random number from 1 to 20. So let's import a library random, and this is going to return a number from 1 to 20. So I need to write the random library dot randint, and I just want a number generated from 1 to 20. And so the whole purpose of this function is to just return a number. Okay, so when I down here in my main routine or main program, you can call it and say I want to print out a number, and I'm going to call my D20 function. Okay, so I can call it out and say D20 run. It will go from here up to here, find the one with the number, the same matching definition. So it's looking for the function called D20, and it's going to look for it, and it's going, yep, that one. It's going to run it, and this one's actually just return a number from 1 to 20, and it'll return it and print it out. So let's just run it and check it. So you got it. Oh, generated 5. Okay, so it generates that. We'll run it one more time so you can show that it works. See, generated 7. Okay, so this is our D20. So if I wanted to make another dice and say, well, I play a lot of board games, and sometimes I have to roll a 6-sided dice. So we could easily go, yeah, well, we can make a 6-sided dice. Let's return a random number from randint from 1 to 6. Okay, and now we have got a 6-sided dice. So if I wanted to call the 6-sided dice, I'll just call my D6. And let's run that and check it works. And yep, it's got a 6. Okay, cool. Let's run it again. Yep, it rolled a 5. Okay, so I've now got a number where I can do that and do that. And if I wanted to, I could write another one that's a 100-sided, so a D100. So hopefully you can see sort of how this is working. I'm going to write a few different functions, not just dice, but I'm giving you just sort of showing you that I can call any of these functions anytime I want. So this one I'm going to call is that my D100, and I'm going to print it out. So let's have a check. Yep, 64. See, now I can get a number anytime I want. And if I program a game or something, I can roll my D100 function. It's going to return that. So in a program, if I went if D100 function is greater than 50, then we can do this sort of type of coding. Print greater than 50. Okay, and otherwise else I can say, well, it must be less than. Less than or equal to 50. Okay, so let's check out which one's going to run. So I'm running my D100, goes up, gets a number, returns it. It has a number now. It compares it to that number. If it's higher, it's going to run this. If it's lower, it's going to run that. So let's check it. Yeah, greater than 50. So it must have generated a number greater than 50. Let's try it again. Let's run it again. Oh, yep, less than or equal to 50 that time. So we could always print out the number as well. So you can use the D100 anywhere you want. See, I can use my inside anywhere I want and use my D100 function. I can use it there, I can use it there, I can print it out anytime I want, okay? Okay, you could do this, couldn't you? You could make a for loop, so for I in range, and go 100, and if I wanted to, call my D20 and print it out. The autofill was a blessing and a curse. So let's check it what that does. See, it just 100 times it's getting a random number every time it loops around. Okay, cool, eh? Yeah. And if you wanted to, of course, you could create a list. Let's make a little list of numbers. Numbers. Empty list. And we could go, well, let's get our numbers list. And let's append it. Our D20. See, and now we can get a random number every time we loops and add it to our numbers list. And of course, if we wanted to, we could display that list for I in numbers. Print I. Okay, so here's we're starting to put all our skills together. So functions can be called anytime you want, as many times as you want. And we can use them there to append. We can use them all sorts of stuff. So let's check that one out. So this is all about functions. So ooh, look at that. There's my list being displayed. This is my list. This is my list being printed out here, down here. Okay. So cool. It's pretty cool, eh? Right. So more about functions. So there's some functions. What happens if we just want to... This is returning. What happens if we're not returning? So let's make a function where it just says a greeting function. It's got no parameters being passed. There's nothing in the round there. There's nothing there. And it's not going to return anything. So it's just going to print out something. It's not going to return anything. It's going to say hello there. Okay. And so this function it has nothing in here and it doesn't return anything. So this has got a no parameter, no passing. So we can just run that function. Okay. And let's run it and see what it does. And it just basically will run the code. Hello there. That's all it does. Okay. So that's called a no parameter. There's nothing being passed and a no return. But what happens if we want to pass it a word? So let's pass it a name, Mike. Or okay, and now we can come up here and we can have a variable that's going to contain it. So this word here has been passed up. It's going to be stored in here. And now if we wanted to, we could insert it into a sentence using dot format. And go, let's put that in the sentence and personalize our thing. We're sending that data there. It's been stored in here, and now we can print it out and up in the function. So let's have a look, check it out. Hello there, Mike. Okay. The other one just said hello there, but now we're sending it a name, so we can personalize it a bit. Okay, so that's called this got no return, but it has a parameter being passed. What happens if we want to pass there a second parameter, like his age, Mike's age, 50-year-old Mike? We can pass it up. So we can pass two things up, comma separated, and this time I'll put an age variable. So the 50 is going to go into the second one. The Mike is going to, Mike there is going to go into the first one. The 50 is going to go into the second one. And now if I want to display age, I can go, hi there, hi there, let's change it around a bit. Hi there, Yeah, I'm going to change the sentence, and I'm going to put the age first this time. And what is it going to say? It's going to print out, hello there, 50-year-old Mike. Okay, so let's run it. Hello there, 50-year-old Mike. Okay, so I'm passing two parameters. Now the takeaway is I can pass a variable or a word like this. It's going to be stored in the container, and I can use that in the function. This 50 is going up and it's been stored in the container, and then I can use it up here. Now what happens if I want to pass up just two numbers? Let's do a calculation function. So let's create a new function called def, and this is calculate. Calculate. Okay, so and this is my calculator is going to receive two numbers, num1 and num2. Okay, so there we go, and now I'm going to put that, and all I want to do is I want to have an answer variable, and I want to go num1 times num2. So it's like a mathematics one, and then I'm going to return the answer after it's finished. So down here, when I call my function, I'm going to go, let's store it, return, let's call it the answer, and we're going to call our function calculate. Calculate. I'm going to send it two numbers, 13 and 45. And then I'm going to so this calculator is going to send up the number 13. It's going to go up to num1. The 45 is going to get stored up in the num2. It's going to multiply them, store it in the answer, and then this time return the answer. When this returns, that'll be the answer, and then it's going to be stored in there, and then we can print it out. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm storing the answer, what's returned. Answer that has been returned. The return answer. So let's have a check at what that does. Boom. Yeah, look at that. 584. So that's the returned answer printed out. So what's happening there, think about it, it's calling the function, it's passing two parameters into two containers so they match. They have to match. If there's only one there, it will crash because there's only one container up there, so it's expecting two. So it's got to match. And this one here takes parameters plus it returns things. So we've got a few different functions. So functions are pretty easy. Good thing about functions is you can run this calculate as many times as you want and just run the same code over and over again. And basically that's functions in a nutshell. Okay, can you pass a list to a function? You sure can. So let's get rid of some of these, and let's make a list. We'll call it display. Okay, def display, and I'm going to get my list. So I'm going to call it items or something. Now this is going to be my for I in items. Print I. Okay, so what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to have a list of items. So items list. Let's call it things list. And in here I'm going to have apple, 13, cat, computer. Okay, so anyway, here's my list of things, and basically I then can call my function called display, and I can pass up my things list, and it will print them off for me. So here's another way of using it. So let's go. Boom. Let's try it. See? I just passed up my list and printed them off in my my new functions I made. Yeah, neat, eh? Cool. You can also return a list as well. And when you return it, you'd have to have a variable holding holding, to hold the, so basically returned thing, items. So I'd have to, if I wanted to return something from up here, I could I can make my own list up here. So let's make a list of other list. Let's go other list and go blank blank. And this time, instead of printing out, we're going to go other list dot append. So add our items from our list. Plus every time I'm going to go other list. I'm going to add append. What else am I going to append? I'm going to append butter as well. Every time I loop, I'm going to append butter as well. So when I return, I'm going to have a different list with butter added in. Okay, so for I in returned items, print I. So you'll see that my list is going to have, I'm sending a list up here, calling it, sending it up here, looping around, adding it to another list, and I need to do the last thing I hadn't done, and that is return the other list back. So return it back, send it back. So I call it, I'm going to return it. This is going to become the new list, and then I'm going to print for this new list. Now let's look at the crazy code. So there is apple, butter, 13, butter, cat, butter, computer, butter. So I've passed up my list of items. I passed this list up and up to my function, made another list and added the stuff from the list passed up plus added butter to it each time. And then returned the new list, restored it, and then loop through it to display the new list which has butter added to it. Okay, so you can make functions do heaps of stuff. Functions are really powerful, really useful. I like using them for things like this, things like D20. We already did this one. Okay, return random from 1 to 20. Okay, and down here, and so that's going to be that. And if I said I've got a number 1, and it has 14 in it, if my num1 is greater than D20, then run this code. Okay, so I like to use them in conditions, call functions in conditions, and return them and use them like that. I like to use them everywhere, these functions, okay? So hopefully you're going to really love functions and go, hey, they're really cool. I love them.